We actually looked like a football team tonight. For 4 quarters, we left a few points on the field on offense. If we can have any complaints, we missed the field goal, we turned the ball over one time. And we left, I think we left 11 points on the field in the first half. I didn't count on the second half. We made too many mistakes. Obviously, the snap over the head on the punt, and was disturbing. That happens in weather like that. But other than that, I thought we handled it pretty well. The weather, real proud defense. Defense gave up the opening drive. That kid last week did the same thing in South Florida. You drop back, pull it down, not go through his reads, and just start running the ball. We wanted to do it. When you hit a quarterback, 10, 15 times in the first half, it kind of takes a toll. He's not a running back, and so it's tough for a quarterback to do that. And I thought our guys did a good job of not giving up a big play, huge play out of, I think, Tyrell Gilbert on the go route, kind of taking the ball away from number 5, who's, I think, their best player on the go route. But coaches did a good job. It's good to come back home and have homecoming. I thought the uniforms looked very good and kind of prestigious. I can't spell that word, but I won't say that word now. But homecoming went great. It was good that we at least got all the homecoming in, other than the football game. We got the parade and all that in. So we sacrificed and it took all the rain. But just a great day for the Bearcats. We got better. We're a better football team. We're much better than we played in a couple of games, and we played well in the second half. Question.
What went into the decision making behind getting Gunner Field started job again?
Well, last week, Hayden got hit a bunch, and he wasn't quite the player this week. He's got some tendonitis in several areas, and wasn't 100% in practice. But I told both of them, you're going to have to go hard, and we charted it. And Gunner had much more focus, but Hayden practiced hard, practiced well. But I thought Gunner, the zip on his ball was much better. And then I probably would have changed it even if I'd have gone the other way to Gunner once I saw it raining, because Gunner throws a good wet ball. I mean, he's got a pretty good sized hand, throws a wet ball well, and that makes a huge difference for a quarterback. So we'll go back to the drawing board and get back into competing next week. I just saw Gunner in the elevator. I think he's going to be real hard to get that position away from that number 1 spot. But again, it's great for competition. It's great for everybody involved, I think.
No interceptions from Gunner. That's really big for him.
Yeah. Make good decisions. There's a couple he'd like to have back down in the red zone. But again, the sack and the fumble wasn't his fault. They outrun it, run our tackle on the outside, and we just got to get better at that. But weather like that, I don't know, we had to have close to 650 yards offense. That's a lot of offense. I thought our offense kept their focus, and it's a wet ball is very hard to play with, very hard. And it was their advantage for it to rain. It wasn't our advantage. And so we handled it. And again, we got the running game going. Mike Boone, it's good to have him back, running almost 100%. And then Jose obviously had to run 150 yards, and Tion. So we're getting better. We need to. We've already got 3 losses. We can't afford another one. So we'll come back next week and have another home game and see how much better we can get.
You mentioned.
Go ahead.
You mentioned Gilbert. How big has his emergence been over these last 3 games for the defense? It seems like that's shored up the back end quite a bit.
He's a great athlete from Princeton High School. He had a huge hit on number 86 across the middle in the second quarter, knocked the ball loose, and that was a huge play. He's got a lot of ability. He's just one of those guys, sometimes he gets too aggressive, and safeties can't get real aggressive in some games. But last week he really played well against BYU, and he was better and better. Coach Klink's playing a lot of guys back there. I looked out there sometimes when we had a whole new secondary other than the ones we started. But we got to do that. We got so many young guys. We've just got to get them in the game and live with it, and hopefully they can learn on the run.
Could you speak briefly about Shaq? He had 8 catches.
He had 8 catches today.
He's close to becoming the all-time leading receiver here. Just what he means to your team and moving the ball down the field.
He's one of the best football players I've ever been around. Knowing football, understanding his position, understanding how to get open and then catch the ball and then make a play once he gets the ball in his hand. He is, he's Mr. Consistent. And the quarterbacks, whoever's out there knows they can go in his direction. He makes some huge catches over his head. I mean, he's only 5'6". He says he's 5'10", but he's 5'6", and he you know, he could have dunked a basketball on one of those little post routes he ran and jumped and caught that thing. And again, it's a wet ball. But he wanted to go back in, but I tell you what, he's a solid football player for us. And he's, I don't know how far he is away from getting the record, guys. 7. I would venture to say at dinner time with you that he's going to get 7 in the next 5 games. Anybody want to take that bet?
How would you compare him to Michael Crabtree?
You know, I didn't coach Michael Crabtree, but I did watch Wes Welker work out a bunch. He used to come back to Texas Tech, and about the same size, very athletic once with the ball in their hands. But the thing about a guy like that, you got to get open and you got to be seen, and that's what Wes Welker does. That's what all these smaller guys do, inside receivers. And there's no, I tell you, Shaq is just, he's money. The quarterbacks have confidence. They know exactly he's going to be in the right spot. And you have to do that. And you have to be able to understand that to get as many balls thrown your way as Shaq does.
Max Morrison struggled with a couple catches, and DJ Dowdy caught 2 catches, one for a touchdown. Is including the tight end one of the passing game going to be something going forward? Yeah, we got to throw more to the tight end.
Max, you know, he got hit pretty good last week, and he wasn't the same guy tonight. You could just kind of tell out there he was all cleared and all that, and did practice Wednesday and Thursday. But you know, when guys get injured and they're not 100%, they don't play quite as well, you know, mentally or physically. So it'll be good to get Max back. Again, we didn't play Broughton tonight. I didn't even put him in the game. And he's one of our better D linemen. We held him out. He got his ankle tweaked last week. But we want to throw the ball to tight end, and Cogwell made a great block on that last run down with Jose. But our tight ends are getting better. We don't have a lot of them, but they've been very valuable.
612 yards offense. What do you attribute them playing as well tonight as they did? Where does that come from?
Our offense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're pretty good on offense. You know, the thing that has beat us in at least a couple of games is turning the ball over. We absolutely turned it over. We've been consistent on offense where we hadn't been consistent as defense, and I think tonight we held them under 300 yards.
266.
And we keep continuing getting better on defense like we're getting. We're going to win a lot more football games. You just can't win it on offense. But it's good to see tonight that our defense played well. The one thing that I always look at third down conversions, and they were 2 for 11. And if you play that well on third down, you're going to win a lot of games.
Coach Gunnar Keels, 26-35, 327 yards, 3 total touchdowns. Looked like a pretty good game. When he's playing his best, or playing the way he should, is he the best quarterback on this team, hands down?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that he's the most experienced and the best quarterback we got going because he's played a lot of football games. One stat that you didn't put in there, he completed all those and handled the ball most of the time well and got us in the right play. One bad snap that he was trying to tell the tight end what to do and moved, and the center didn't see him when we snapped it back and he wasn't there. One stat you didn't have on there, and you'll never be able to see it in the stats, it was a wet football. And that is hard to throw. You saw their kid tonight who really played well last week throwing a dry football. He struggled. He could not throw the wet football. And so there's a difference. You know, there's guys that can and guys that can't. It's same not just on our league, but NFL. And I thought he was pretty dang good tonight, you know, with wet football in his hand, standing in the pocket and taking a few licks like he did take.
Speaking of the wet football, in the rain, Gunnar did not throw a pass in the fourth quarter. Did that factor in your play calling?
Well, in the fourth quarter, we knew we had the lead, and if they wanted to throw it, I wouldn't let them. I wanted to win the game and get out of there. It was starting to get wet and cold down there about the middle of the fourth quarter, and I was trying to get Bob not to call those timeouts on the other side, but he called, and again, it's a good football game for us because we finished the game, and everybody had a smile on their face. This time last week out in BYU or Friday night, we didn't have very many smiles on our faces because we knew we were good enough to win that football game. We just didn't play like we did tonight in the fourth quarter.
Anything else? I think, yes, players, we're ready.